Hello and welcome to Loquitur Gaming. I am Zach. It has been quite a while since I put anything up. I was really busy during tax season. I think it's been said several times on my channel and other channels that I work in the tax industry, and I was extremely busy. I'm just now getting stuff reset up to start recording some more stuff. More Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I want to get some more Kingdom Death Monster in before Gambler's Chest starts shipping this summer, because we have confirmation that the factory is working on it. And I've just been learning some Isofarian guards, so we'll see what gets put up here. I've got some time today and tomorrow to do some recording, but I'm just getting everything back set up, so I thought I'd play a little on the computer, and I wanted to get back to Earthborne Rangers. This is the Earthborne Rangers demo. This is the second iteration of the demo that they put out. It's been out for several months now. The game was supposed to ship, I think, already, but they found an error in the printing. So they're going to have to open up all the packages, is my understanding, and put a new token sheet in there. But we're going to get both of the token sheets, so that's slightly to our benefit, and part of the storage solution is also being upgraded in the meantime. So I think they said 6 to 8 week delay before we get the actual physical version of this game. But I'm super excited for Earthborne Rangers, so I wanted to get a little bit into the demo here. In addition to that, I'm also playing this with Kanjay on his channel next week on Thursday. So I'm going to reorient myself with the rules and get back into the flow, do a little testing on the setup here for the channel, and see how it goes. Alright, so this is Earthborne Rangers, the new demo, and it's different than the previous demo. They do have some helpful things. I added some text here to check fatigue during the test, but we'll see that when we actually play. I like these buttons that they put in here on TTS. They have pre-made Ranger decks. I'm using 2 of the pre-made Rangers. I'm going to play two-handed this time through, just to see how it goes. So I'm using 2 of the pre-made Ranger decks. So you hit that place button and they pop out. You can hit the recall button and they'll go back. The game also comes with, and I'm pretty sure this is, this is in the final game too, as an introduction to the game. There's this prologue that will teach you how to play, but also it teaches you how to build a Ranger deck. The different parts that you need, an aspect card, and you need personality cards, the specialty cards, and the background cards. So this also comes with those cards all separated out, where you can pick your aspect, and then as you're going through the prologue, you pick your personality cards, you play a little bit, learn some of the rules, and then I think you pick your background. So these are separated into the backgrounds. So that's all deck building. So that's cool that's in there. But I'm going to play with some pre-made Rangers. And also for the demo, there are parts of the story that are cut out. It's a lot more just explore the valley. There will be a little bit of like a breadcrumb crest, I think, at the beginning, that I saw in the playcast that the Earthborne crew is doing on YouTube. So we're just going to explore, check out some of the mechanics, check out some of the cards, and see how it goes. Okay, so there's a little bit of story here to read. I've done some of the setup, but there'll be a little bit more getting some of the cards out. Okay, so cresting the gentle grassy hill, you see the unmistakable silhouette of Lone Tree Station rise out of the highland plains before you. Lone Tree Station is aptly named, the single massive giga redwood towers above the hills and swaying grass that surround it. You can just make out eaves and balconies among the gnarled bark, doors tucked into the winding roots, and hanging gardens suspended from branches. As you draw closer, a woman in a freshly pressed cloak steps out from the main entrance and waves. Calypsa, your mentor for the past 9 months, strides towards you with a man who looks just about your age at her heels. "Hello," she calls out. "You made it. Just look at you." She clasps your hands, her smile warm and her grip firm. "I'm glad to finally have you here," she says. Then she turns. "This is Cal Ivor. I trained Cal last year, right before I started training you." Cal Ivor gives you a nod in greeting. "A pleasure," he says. "Put the Lone Tree Station location into play in the surroundings." All right, so Lone Tree Station. Calypsa heads back to the station with you and Cal in tow. She speaks back over her shoulder. "Please make yourselves at home. Explore the hanging gardens, find Spirit Seeker Nell and Cordo, and strike up a conversation. Get to know the place. After you've spent some time here at the station, you should head over to White Sky," she says, "or head up to Northern Outpost and see if old Lund could use a hand. In fact," and then this is where this red text here is saying, hey, there's going to be something for you to do in the actual game right here, but they want to keep the main storyline unspoiled, so it's not in the demo. And then we need to put the weather card, A Perfect Day, into play. I think it's right here on top. Yep. And it says we need 3 clouds. We will put a marker with a 3 on there. Calypsa turns to you. "Cal and I are heading out into the valley. We'll be on Shadow Patrol. That is, we will never be too far away from you for the next few weeks. You shouldn't need our help, of course," Cal says. "I can tell by looking at you that you're more than capable." "Farewell for now," Calypsa says, and starts down the eastern path away from Lone Tree. "Spirits guide you. Follow your instinct." She and Cal walk steadily out of sight. Create the path deck by shuffling together the Woods and Lone Tree card sets. Place it above the surroundings. Then complete all initial setup. 3 cloud tokens. Oh, we did that already. This concludes setup. So now we're just going to explore. So we need to create the path deck. And they said Woods. So I'm going to copy the sets here. Oops. We have the Woods set, and we needed Lone Tree Station. It has 5 cards, okay. We'll put it where it goes. And then shuffle, 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 shuffle. Shuffle the challenge deck. Shuffle our Ranger decks. Why does that one look like it's floating? Maybe just because it's offset a little bit. All right, so in the setup, there's probably, I think it's easier to pop this out because it's scrolls. Well, it was scrolling better for me yesterday. Maybe it just needs to load into my computer or something. Come on. Set up player areas, draw starting hand. 6 cards. We have to elect the lead ranger. Okay. We'll just make this easy and say our player on the left over here is our lead ranger. And we're playing as a masterful engineer over here. Our exhaust ability is to ready a tech. And we have an undaunted seeker. Exhaust when you perform a test, dodge 1 card. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are boring. So I'm going to mulligan those. 1, 2, 3, and we didn't get any duplicates. Now we have duplicates, but that's okay. Whoops. Put our mulligan cards back in here and shuffle. Just get our hands and then see what we got. Oh, we got to perform the setup on Lone Tree Station also. This one, so when you're interacting with a trail, it's 3 symbols, but it can only be used when you're interacting with a trail. Whoops, I don't want all of you. Do I want that now? I don't know if there's going to be a trail. I think I'm going to mulligan to see if I can get something else. All right. Okay, sufficiently shuffled. We got to perform the setup on Lone Tree Station. Search the path deck for the next predator and discard it. And then draw a path card. All right. Oh, it's not a predator. Good thing we didn't get that card first. Nope. 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 There we go. Nope. I just want the Wolfhound. The rest of you get added back. We have, whoops. We have searched, found a predator, discarded it, and then we're going to draw a path card. Hey, it's High Pimpot. It's the lead ranger, so he's going to go within reach of our lead ranger. Okay, so that's the setup. Now we start, so each ranger draws a path card, starting with the lead ranger. Because when we do a round, first thing is draw a path card, then we take our turns, which is the meat of the game. Then we decide if we're going to travel, and then that's when we refresh is number 4. Before we draw path cards, let's just take a look at our Lone Tree Station card here. We can do an awareness test with heart symbols to search, which basically means we can scout path cards and then draw a path card. So that'll help us look for some people or some places to just kind of check out. We need 3 progress per ranger, so 6 progress to travel away from Lone Tree Station. Our weather on refresh, we have to discard a cloud from here. So we got 3 turns basically with this weather before this card flips over. On mountain, then we would add progress if the test added progress. We'll see that in action. High Pimpot. Oh, we should read his entry when he came out. It has a storybook entry of 47 next to his presence up there. So we need to read his entry, and it's not 1.47, it's actually 47. High Pimpot. When he enters play, go to 47.1. You hear High's shrill whistling long before you see him. It's said that every ranger in the valley has tried to teach High Pimpot a new song to whistle, but none of them have succeeded. Eventually you spot the stout little gnome of a man intently chopping and mixing vinegary-smelling herbs and vegetables into a large bowl. Good, good, you're here, he says without looking at you. Try this stew. I need to know if I've hit the right balance between pleasant heat and tongue searing. What does it need? Kelpweed? Morning root? You can help High Pimpot by gathering ingredients for the stew, or you can clear him with progress to ask him How to make the stew as good as possible. So this blue text I think relates to the tests on his card. So, test on his card is awareness plus the triangle thingies. We can harvest with a difficulty of 2 local plants for the stew to attach a flora face down to high. If there are 3 flora attached to high, he prepares his famous stew. If there are 3 flora attached to high. Attach a flora face down to high. So we need to find some flora. I guess is what that means. There would have to be some flora out. I don't think we have anybody that has any like flora in there. No, but man, we have a lot of gear. Let's get our path cards. Okay, there's some flora. This would come along the way. I mean, sorry, within reach. Oh, and we got Spirit Seeker Null is another friendly being that comes within reach of our second ranger, who also has an entry to read, 45. If you don't have either the accommodation or intervention mission, we don't. Go to 45.1. From one of Lone Tree's balconies, you hear the voices of 2 people arguing. One you immediately recognize as Cordo Haverson's, but it takes a moment before you recognize the other as that of Spirit Speaker Null. You don't think you've heard her raise her voice before. You find the 2 of them in the midst of a heated debate. Cordo's face is flushed, and Null has her arms crossed and is glaring. Although you're not sure what's going on, you feel like you should step in. If Cordo is not in play, search the path deck for him and put him into play in the same area as Null. Do not read his enters play entry. Then go to 45.4. All right, so let's just search for Cordo. And then we will shuffle because we saw the order. Did it say within reach? I don't remember. The same area as Null, yeah. Then go to 45.4. You get between Null and Cordo and ask them what they're arguing about. Cordo huffs, then Null rolls her eyes and turns to you. We've been debating this since Cordo and I first met, actually, she says. It's a question of our role here, both as rangers and inhabitants of this valley. Don't make it too dramatic, Cordo grumbles. I just think that if we're going to be proper stewards here, it's up to us to clean up our ancestors' mistakes. Biomelds aren't mistakes, Null shoots back. They may have been created for a purpose thousands of years ago, but in the time since they've evolved and become part of the ecosystem. They reproduce, they coexist, just like any other being. Oh, you think that caustic mulcher that has been lumbering around the wooded areas of the valley is coexisting with everything else? Cordo looks at you. Maybe you can settle this. Null thinks that big, sticky-tongued, acid-drooling eating machine is part of the environment. I, on the other hand, think that it's been eating its way through the rest of the ecosystem, and it's time to stop it. What do you think? He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a ball of cloth. You catch it and open it, and find that it's actually a long and lethal-looking gauze blade. Gain the gauze blade reward card. All right, so we got a reward card. Gauze blade. But we can't put this into our deck until we have camped. So I'm just going to put it over there, I guess. Null size. Well, it's important to be able to identify yourself to it just like any other being, she says. The caustic mulcher, like the other biomelds around here, is an important part of the ecosystem. I haven't observed a drastic decrease in animal populations. Have you, Cordo? If the mulcher was a mistake, nature would have corrected it by now. It doesn't eat everything, only what it must. Cordo grunts. You've already told me your plan to prove it. Coating yourself in leaf paste and seeing if the mulcher will eat you or spit you out sounds like a terrible idea. If I'm right, Null says, then the mulcher won't eat living plants or something that tastes like one. It's not cutting a swath through the forest, it's helping to manage it. Rangers choose. Agree with Cordo, the mulcher must go, or agree with Null, the mulcher is misunderstood. Gain either the intervention or accommodation mission. I guess I'll agree with Null just because she's the one that we found first, for no other reason than that. The mission cards are right here. Accommodation. Okay, so that goes into our mission area. You've agreed to help Spirit Seeker Null investigate the caustic mulcher's purpose and ecosystem. Explore the woodlands of the valley where the caustic mulchers can be found. When a ranger's token is removed from a caustic mulcher, place it on this card. It cannot be moved from here by the mulcher's effects. At any point, the group can choose to change their mind and help Cordo instead. If they do, remove all ranger tokens from this card and flip it. Replace accommodation with intervention. Then we have to have all of the ranger tokens on this card to read 1.40. So we have to get put onto the caustic mulcher, then be removed from the caustic mulcher to be put onto here. All right. All of that from setup. This is the other card that came out, Sunberry Bramble. You can add harm to this feature to soothe some fatigue. If we fail, the feature fatigues us. It's not an obstacle. It is flora. Attach a flora face down. So I think we could do that harvest to take this, to attach it to high, for him to prepare his famous stew. The book also said that we could clear him to learn what makes the best stew. Well, okay, so now it's open, right? Okay, we could also clear Cordo. Add a harm to a being for every 2 efforts. So Cordo could hunt if we had some beings out. And Spirit Seeker Null will let us scout some challenge cards, so that's cool. Add progress to her and scout challenge cards. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I think we want to put out an infusion canteen. So before even deciding what we're going to do, I think I'm just going to do that first. We'll get our infusion canteen out, and we're going to make it a, ooh, we don't want the whole bag, a fitness canteen. Because what this does is when you play this gear, choose an aspect. You may place a spare energy token here as a reminder. So I've chosen fitness. And it needs 3 sips on it. So when we use one of those sips, it's like using a fitness energy. So we just got ourselves some more fitness. What other cards do we have? Let's talk about what they do. After you succeed in an avoid test, exhaust one additional being. That's cool. From a traverse test, use focus instead of fitness. That's also cool. That'll take up our other 3 equipment slots, though. This has 4 uses on it. When a ranger performs an avoid test, commit 1 effort. So that helps us on avoid tests. We got another canteen. And discard one of your equipped gear to add harm to it being equal to the number of tokens on the discarded gear. So that's cool. This one comes out with 4 tokens on it. It has a nice effect, but if we have a difficult creature or being, we could get some harm on it. All right, so what do we got going on over here? We can play a moment from our discard pile without paying its energy cost. Okay. Speaking of moments, discard any number of progress from a trail to add an equal number of harm to a being. All right. We've got a hiking staff. We could use this to add progress to a trail, or we could use it to strike a being for some harm. Leaf in the breeze. When you traverse, dodge up to 3 cards. All right. Iron wool boots. After you play a moment, we can soothe the fatigue. Okay. Eagle eye is a moment. Scout 3 path cards, then draw 1 path card. All right. So, while we don't have anything that's dangerous out here, maybe we should try to get some progress on our location. So that we can just go explore somewhere else. It's also good while we don't have anything out, we can spend our energy on setting stuff up. So let's put some boots out. So that's that ranger's turn. And I think I'm gonna play my other 2 focus to get the trekking poles out, and they have 3 charges, so we need another all-purpose counter. The 3. Okay, that's that character's turn. And do I want to get the staff out, or do I want to put some... Okay, so the traverse test that will allow us to get progress onto the location is, it's the fitness plus the compass symbol to traverse, add progress to a location. If you fail, you suffer an injury. And the difficulty is equal to the presence, and Lone Tree Station has a presence of 1 in that purple box there. Scouting path cards is also good. And we can also try to clear some of these folks to just advance their stories a little bit. We can read their entries if we clear them. So the question is, do I want to... I think it's good to get some gear out at the beginning, so let's get this staff out. And it will have 3... tokens on it as well. Even though there are no trails right now, there could be when we travel. And there could be more that come out of the path deck as well. Okay, so this is in our way of interacting with the location card. So it is also a feature, so that would be also the fitness test. Does it exhaust when we pluck from it? Add 1 harm to this feature and soothe 2 fatigue. It doesn't exhaust. I could just take the fatigue. I mean, we're at the very beginning of the day. It's not like the end of the world to take the fatigue, so I will do that. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to do the traverse. Do I have any compasses? I do. I have that one. And I have one on the other canteen. This is a really good card, though. Okay, yeah. So I am going to do this traverse test. So on a test, you have to identify the test first. Then you have to check for things that are going to fatigue you. So the test that I'm doing is that traverse test on this Lone Tree Station location card up here. And I have to check for cards in between me and the card I'm interacting with. So this Sunbury Bramble is in between us. 1 presence, so it's going to fatigue me for 1 card. It means I take the top card of my Ranger deck, add it to my fatigue stack. Then I commit my energy and matching aspects. So I'm going to commit 1 from here. I'm going to commit a token from my canteen and the compass symbol from my other canteen. So I'm at an effort of 3. Does it say to exhaust it? Yes, I have to. I have to exhaust it. But I can also exhaust my character to ready a tech card, which is cool. Okay, so I'm at an effort of 3. And we'll just reshuffle this for funsies. We're on red. Ooh, +1, so it's 4. Versus the difficulty of 1, so we pass. And the test says, add progress to a location equal to your effort. So my total effort ended up being 4. So we take a progress token, make it a 4. And we got the sun challenge effect. So nothing here, and we look at our stuff, no suns there. All right, so do we do the same thing over here? Play a moment from your discard pile. You traverse dodge up to 3 cards. Scout 3 path cards. Progress to a trail. We are good at traversing, but we spent this to get we spent most of our fitness. It's a difficulty of 1. I think I'm going to risk it. I'm going to do the traverse test as well, just trying to prep us for being able to travel. Now we could stay here and try to get the caustic mulcher out because we have the wood set in here and we know what's in there because we saw it when I was searching for a predator to work on this mission, or we could go somewhere else. Keep clearing these folks. I have one spirit token. Not a lot of other hearts and stuff though. So now I'm going to do first, I'm going to remember my training. So remembering your training is focus plus the triangles. There's no number listed, so it's against a difficulty of 1. It's always a minimum of 1. So I'm going to risk it. It's a blue focus test, so I'll spend this focus, my 1 focus energy. I'm not going to commit any symbols. And see, blue -2. So I fail, I don't get to remember my training. I have to look for the crest. We do have crests over here, but there's no predators. And I knew that these were about an active predator because anytime you have these friendly humans, I think the crest thing is always the same because you need to protect the humans from predators or your day will end, it says in the rule book. Okay, this has these diamond symbols on it, which is the indication to reshuffle the challenge deck. Okay, so that did nothing for us over there. I could do that again. Yeah, so I'm going to exhaust my roll card to ready this tech card. And then do that. We'll go down to 1 here. And so I'm sitting at 1. Yeah, I'll use this card, I guess, for the compass symbol. So I'm sitting at a strength of 2. Kind of risky, I guess. So we're looking at the red number. Ah, -1. So we only get 1. Because we still hit the threshold of 1, but our total effort ended up only being 1. And the challenge crest is, he's the human, so there's no predators or anything. All right. I don't know if that was worth it. Maybe I want to try to get some progress on high over here. Oh, I did something wrong there. I was going through this card. I should have fatigued another card. Yeah. I interacted with this card past these Sunbury Brambles, so that should have fatigued me. Going a little too fast. All right, so let's do a new test. Let's do the connect test. We're gonna try to add progress to a being. We're gonna try to add progress to old high Pimpot over here. It's a difficulty of 2. There's no fail effect on here. Man, this is a really good card. I don't know if I want to use the heart for that. Oh, I've only got 1 spirit token left. Oh no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. I guess we'll just try to get onto Lone Tree Station again then. So we'll spend 1 fitness token, and we'll use the trail symbol or the compass symbol off of that. So we're sitting at 2. These are both friendly cards. Has the keyword friendly, and this one has the keyword friendly. So they do not fatigue us when we are interacting past them. Okay, so we need a challenge card. Looking for the red box. All right, so 2 more. So we've got 7 progress, which is more than what we need if we stop doing that. Want to travel because it's 3 per ranger. And you can go above because there are things that could take away progress tokens. And we have no sun symbols. All right, so I am now going to do this here. If I fail, it will fatigue me. It's awareness plus triangles. This is such a good card to use with this one. I'm really flying through my cards, which is not necessarily a good thing. Cards in my hand, not the cards in my deck. We're going to do it though. I'm going to commit 2 awareness tokens. So it's even right now, 2 against a difficulty of 2. If I succeed, I'm going to be able to get both of these cards from my fatigue stack though, because it soothes 2 fatigue. I'm going to try it. There is a negative of it fatiguing me, so I'm looking for the green here. You can always look through here. So if I look in here, 2 -1 greens have come out in a row. So the odds of this one being a -1 are not great, which is good for us. Hey, it's a +1. So we ended up with 3. Okay, so we follow the instructions. We beat the target number of 2 right here in the brackets. So we're going to pluck the thorn ringed fruit to add 1 harm to this feature. So we add a harm die with 1 on it. And soothe 2 fatigue. Okay, so we got 2 cards in our fatigue stack that we can soothe. Oh, universal power cells. That's good. Functional replica. Choose a ranger's equipped gear. Resolve the chosen gear's effect as if you had used a token from it and or exhausted it. Oh, that's good. That is nice. Yeah, and universal power cells adds more charges, adds more tokens to a gear card, which is also nice. Okay, now we have to finish the challenge here. Mountain, we did not add progress, we added harm, so that's nothing. If there's an active prey, exhaust it. There is not an active prey. All right. So now it's this ranger's turn. We have awareness. Nothing I really want to spend the awareness on. I don't really need to do this here. Oh, but let's not forget this right here. We can spend awareness to scout path cards. So let's do that just because we have it. We'll spend both of the awareness. So we're sitting at a difficulty of 2. This test has no difficulty here, so it's a 1. So it's 2 versus 1, and we're looking at the green number again. It's -1. Okay, so we still pass 1 versus 1. and it lets us scout path cards equal to our effort. So our total effort at the end ends up being 1. We know the crest isn't going to do anything. That's not necessarily true because we have to finish doing this because we're going to draw a path card here. So scouting, whatever the number is, you draw that many cards and you get to look at it. It's the caustic mulcher. So now when we scout, we have the option of either putting this back on top or putting it on the bottom. And we have this mission with this thing. So the question is, do we want to get this out now, put it on top? Let's read it. Beings attached to this being do not ready. Okay. If a ranger is on this biomeld, you cannot travel, and ranger tokens on this biomeld cannot be moved except by this test. So with fitness plus that symbol at a difficulty of 2, we would exhaust it, then remove a ranger token or unattach a being from it. If you unattach a being, place it in the same area as this biomeld. So we need the sun symbol. If there's another active being, exhaust it and attach it to this biomeld. If not, move your ranger token to this biomeld. So there's a lot that has to happen to do this mission. We need the sun symbol to come out. We need there to not be other active beings. And then we have to get moved off of it. So that mission is kind of difficult. And its target numbers 6 harm and 9 progress are kind of high. Also, with a 3 presence, oofta. The problem that I see right now, though, is there's 3 other beings that we would have to get exhausted using this awareness test. And have a sun come out twice so that both rangers get put on here and then put over here. I think maybe we should try to find some other mission to do. So I'm going to put this back on the bottom. I'm not going to work on the caustic mulcher thing right now. So that was just the scout part of this test. Now we have to draw a path card, so now we're at the mercy of whatever we take off the top. And this is an obstacle, an overgrown thicket that goes along the way. It is flora. You can hunt, add progress to this feature equal to your effort. Oh, hunt a way through the dense foliage to add progress. Okay. It is an obstacle though, so now we can't travel until this gets taken care of. Now, high pin pot. Okay, so there's no crests to deal with because there's no active predators. So that was her turn. Okay. We didn't have to exhaust this, right? Add a harm, no. But we don't have any more awareness. We've got 2 spirit that we can try to use to connect with somebody. Four to clear Pimpot, and he's a 2. I don't think I want to use my functional replica for the hearts, though. Or for the 1 heart. I could just rest. We cannot travel. I don't have awareness. I think I'm just going to rest and rest. So we can't travel because of the obstacle. We draw a ranger card, reset energy pools, and ready all cards. Which is basically our roll. Draw a ranger card. Oh, we drew another functional replica. Okay. And we drew the thing that only works on trails. We don't have any trails out because I don't think this is a trail. It's a feature, flora, and an obstacle. Okay, let's get our tokens back. Oh, I can ready my canteen also. And then we start a new round. So we're drawing a path card starting with the lead ranger. A Sitka buck. So now we have some prey out there. And topside mast. This has an entry to read, entry 42. If the weather is inclement, you cannot interact with this feature. It is not, but that reminds me that we did refresh, so we have to discard a cloud from that card during the refresh phase. Yes, so I need to read entry 42. Topside mast enters play for Eval 1. High atop Lone Tree Station, you'll find a series of circular platforms of polished wood and forged carbon. During your training on clear, windless days, these platforms serve as a refuge. You would often spend your free time in the afternoons bathing there in the sun, sitting in quiet contemplation and looking out over the mirrored surface of White Sky Lake. You'd also look wistfully at the airship known as the Swift, its hull gleaming in the sun, as Ben Amon would climb aboard and launch it into the air. The legs of the vehicle would compress and then extend with a sudden movement, propelling it upwards with tremendous force. Then once it reached its apex, its wings would unfurl and the glider would soundlessly soar toward the horizon, steadily descending as it flew toward its destination. Eclipse had told you and the other initiates that it was prone to roll and crash in inclement weather, and if you flew at any great distance, its energy cells would drain and the Swift would grow inert, unable to launch for days before the cells recharged. All this clearly meant to dissuade you from taking the Swift out on your own, but when you look at the airship, you can't help but feel a surge of excitement. To soar high above the valley would surely be exhilarating, if not a little terrifying. Now that you're a full-fledged ranger, perhaps you can convince the crew to take you for a ride. Clear the topside mast with the ranger tokens to take the Swift for a ride. So I'm betting the test that's there will put us on there. Focus plus hearts. Convince 3. Ooh. To move your ranger token to this feature. Difficulty of 3. I bet you it'll like let us travel somewhere that might be even further than we normally would, though. And I do want to travel, so I would like to try to get rid of this overgrown thicket. Now there's 2 ways we could do this, because the test that's on here would allow us to add progress using awareness. But we can also, because it is a feature, has the keyword feature, we can just use the traverse test. So we could use fitness or awareness. It's not a trail. Lead ranger is going first. But now we have the buck and the sunberry bramble in our way. We drew a mountain. The buck would harm this feature. It would basically like eat the berries, eat the sunberries. All right, so what do I want to do? I could add the power cells. That takes a focus. I almost feel like gambling that it's not going to get taken away. Interact with this obstacle, take the 2 fatigue, and then on this ranger's next turn, interact with it again with the awareness to soothe the fatigue, just to get more cards in my hand, more options of stuff to use, which is what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to traverse and I'm going to use my focus instead of fitness. So I'm going to use a charge off of this to use focus instead of fitness. And I'm just going to go all, whoops. I'm just going to go all out using all 3. Well, my target is this right here, so I have to check for fatigue before I do the committing. So there are 2 cards in the way, each with 1 presence, so that's going to fatigue me for 2 cards. 1, 2. I'm committing 3 focus. The traverse test is the compass symbol, which I don't have any. Now, since I'm using focus, I think I used the blue box from this challenge card, which is how I'm going to play it. So I'm sitting at 3 versus its presence of 1. -1. So 2. Progress on you. And sun symbol. No. Here on the Sitka buck. If there's another active Sitka buck, no. That's where they would fight each other. All right, now this character is also really good at traversing with 3. Which I think I'm going to do. So 3, and it's not a trail, so that doesn't help. We don't need to dodge any cards. Let's just make sure it succeeds. So we're going to do that. Oh wait, we're already at 3, so it's going to succeed. Well, let's just make sure that 2 gets added. So yeah, so we're sitting at 4. And now we are on the red. -1 is 3. which clears this, because it's 2 per ranger, so it's 4. So the card gets cleared. And crest. There's no active predator. Don't need to worry about that. That's this ranger's turn. Now we go back over here, and I want to do this right here. This pluck, it's awareness plus triangles. Still only 2, so this is still kind of risky that it's not going to succeed, but there's no, yeah, there is a fail actually. It'll fatigue me if I fail. So we're looking for the green, 0 or higher. All right. So we succeeded. So we add a harm, which takes it to 2. We're just going to clear it. So this card is gone, and we'll also get to soothe 2 fatigue. So the card is gone. The harm die is gone. We get both of these cards. And we can see what we got. More hiking poles. Ooh, and the belt pouch. So the slots that gear takes up all goes down to 1. And it comes with the ability to search our pockets. Wow, that's a cool card. We can't put it out right now. To finish this, though, we got the mountain. There was no progress, so that's nothing. And the Sitka buck says if there's an active predator, exhaust it. There's not. All right, now it would be this ranger's turn. I don't know if I have focus plus hearts. Like, it's a difficulty of 3. That's kind of high, especially because I've only got a focus of 1. And it's not really any hearts to speak of. So I'm going to try to remember my training. Still sitting at an effort of 1. Ooh, plus 1 is 2. Cool. So remembering your training, you get to scout equal to your effort. So I get to scout 2 cards from my ranger deck. Play the skier, attach a moment to it from your hand. Play the attached moment as if it was in your hand. That's cool. The number of compasses on this attribute is equal to the number of fitness in your energy pool. That is also cool. I can't play either of these cards right now, but I like both of them. I'm going to put them back on top. So I've done the scout part, then I get to draw. So I will draw that gear card. Okay, so like this would be a really helpful card. That's not the right button. At the beginning of a turn, when my fitness pool has all 3 tokens in it, and I need compasses for something kind of like this test where it was, I could put 1 awareness out there and play that card, then I'm sitting an effort of 4, 1 plus the 3 fitness, the 3 red tokens. That would be a good use for that. The crest is not doing anything because we've got friendly beings out here. So the question is there anything else I want to do, or do I just want to travel? I think I just want to travel. So this character is going to rest. this is a moment. Yeah, that character's going to rest. So when you rest, if you had, that's not over here, but if you had injury, I think is when you rest is when you take the fatigue, but I don't have any injuries, so. And since we're just going to travel, I think we're going to rest on this side too. Okay, so both resting. Then we decide whether to travel, and yes, we're going to travel. So, when you travel, you clear the play area first. Discard all the path cards and ranger cards that are in these 3 zones. So these are all going to go away, and because we copied those, we can just delete them because they're still in their decks up here. This location is going to go away. Oh, we rested. That's right. So, well, we haven't got to the refresh phase actually yet. It's when that would go down. Yeah, we still haven't got to the refresh phase. Travel to a new location, so we have to decide where we want to go. Aatrox Mountain, Boulder Field, White Sky, or Ancestors Grove. Let's go up to Northern Outpost. So we're going to go to Aatrox Mountain. So going to Aatrox Mountain. I'll have to flip this thing. Shuffle the Valley set. Draw 3 cards from it. Copy them. Paste them, and then put them back into here. And we need the mountain set. And we were going to Aatrox Mountain. Setup. Search the path deck for the next obstacle and put it into play. And then the next ranger, search the path deck for the next obstacle. All right, so we need 2 obstacles. Not an obstacle. That's an obstacle. This is not an obstacle. Not an obstacle. Seen lots of cards. Predator. Nope. Nope. There we go. They both got fractal wire. Okay, I want you guys stack back up. Probably skipped ahead a little bit. Choose a location. Write its location card. Replace the current location. Decide to camp. We did not decide to camp. I built the path deck. I did the arrival setup. Now we do the refresh. So we get to draw a Ranger card. Favorite gear. Attach one of your equipped gear. After you use a token from the attached gear, soothe the fatigue. That is cool. Yeah, and that's the locket that I thought, or that I knew you were going to get. And we got to get our tokens back. And we would unexhaust cards. If we needed to. All right, and now we're at a new spot. And we would start a new round. I think I'm actually going to call this video here because I just wanted to kind of test out the OBS settings and stuff again and kind of get back into the swing of this. I know I did not go over all of the rules and everything that was happening, so this wasn't like a video for someone who probably doesn't know anything about Earthborne Rangers. But I just wanted to check this out and see what the new demo kind of looks like. Like I said, I'm super excited for this game. As I continue to play this demo, I might be posting more videos. And like I said, I've got some actual stuff that's going to be on the tabletop, non-digital stuff coming back up to the channel very soon. Probably going to be recording some stuff actually later today. So I hope you enjoyed this little tiny sliver of a peek at the Earthborne Rangers demo. And I hope you enjoy everything that I post up on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one.